Are you currently living in New York and thinking about moving to Florida? Do you want to know what things to expect and what things you have to give up when moving here? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share with you from personal experience how has it been for me and what things I truly miss from New York and what things I don't and I'm glad I have here. Stay tuned because even if you live in another state, I think this video will be very helpful for you. This is one of the things that I miss the most when living in New York. Oh, I came to Florida, I didn't like it, and what do I do? By the way, I am Stefania Mogollon, your local real estate agent here in Miami, Florida. And if you're thinking of relocating, investing, or renting in the meantime, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All my information is going to be down below. Send me a text, give me a call, send me an email. I also have WhatsApp because Miami, I'll be more than glad to help you make the move. Well, I'm gonna try not to extend myself too much because I'm very, very passionate about this topic. I actually decided to move here before COVID. So I experienced Miami before this big change. And what drove me to move here was the quality of life. Mind, it depends on your life situation. I was single, no kids, no dog, no nothing. So I was in a really comfortable position to make a decision like that because worst case scenario, you can always go back, right? So I moved before everyone else moved here. And when I came, I actually thought, oh my God, people in America have not realized how amazing this is. And then COVID happened and everybody came. But my main driver to make the move was the quality of life. I also did real estate in New York City, and when I made the decision, I was actually at the peak of my career. I was the top 20th realtor out of 1,200. Yes, my office was huge. So I was at the peak of my career, and all of my colleagues were telling me I was making a mistake, I was doing so well, etc. But to be honest with you, I wasn't happy. I knew there was something missing, and yes, I was born and raised in Venezuela, which is a tropical country, very similar weather to this. But more than that, there were a lot of parts missing. Don't get me wrong, I love New York. New York is in my heart, but I knew there was something more for me. So that was my main motive, and it took me actually several years to actually pull the trigger, but I did it. Now, cost of living, It depends because if you obviously do compare state to state in general, yes, New York still is a more expensive state, but depending on where you live in New York State and where you're gonna move in Florida, maybe Florida can be more expensive. For example, me, I wasn't living in Manhattan, so I was paying a high ticket for housing, but I moved to one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Florida, in Miami. So to me, the cost of living was very, very similar. Now in New York, you don't necessarily need a car. I had a car, so when I moved here, which I am in the neighborhood of Brickell, I didn't need a car at all. So I left all of that behind. So the roles kind of switch, right? Because I came with no car, and in Florida, you need a car. So it was similar. So in retrospective, the cost of living was very, very similar. But COVID hit and everything changed. The prices of properties to buy and to rent were increased over 50%. So cost of living increased substantially all around the country, but specifically in Florida. So again, it all depends where from New York are you coming from and where are you going to. So to summarize it, it depends. Climate and weather. Like I said, I am from a tropical country. I am not used to the cold. I tried for several years in New York City. It was just not for me. I could not handle it. I will get blue depression. I needed to take vitamin D. I was sad, even though everything in my life was going amazing. And I didn't understand why. And now I do. Honestly, personally, I need to be close to the water and need to be on a hot environment. But to be honest with you, summer here is no joke. So if you are more of a person that gets hot really easily, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is hot, very, very, very hot. But you have to choose your battles. Do you prefer to shovel snow to go to work and get your car out and then try to figure it out parking when you come back, because that's what happened to me every single day. Or sweat for 3 months and get in your car or your property with air conditioning. It all depends what you prefer at the end of the day. For me, this is perfect. And frankly speaking, being in the water for me, it's one of the main reasons I decided to move to Miami. I love the beach, I love the sun, I love to be out and about, and that's something that improves a lot my happiness, my quality of life. See, I think this is genuinely a happy city. I know that we don't have mountains, so don't expect to come and hike over here. There is nothing to hike and there is no snow. So yeah, we don't have those things, but to me, what's most important is being in the water. Another factor for me that was huge was having a pet. From my perspective, Florida is more pet friendly than New York. It's easier to find a place. It's easier to carry your pet with you in restaurants, supermarkets, stores, everywhere. So it was easier for me to make the decision to get a dog when I was here. Transportation, I touched on that topic a little bit. Again, it all depends. I used to live in Queens, New York City, and because I was doing real estate, I needed a car. There is no way you will do it without a car. So my situation was reversed. If you live in Brickell, downtown, even Wynwood and Edgewater, you don't really need a car. But if you are outside or you like to do several activities during the weekend, you definitely need a car, and that's an expense that you have to carry with. And if you have to commute, traffic here is not easy, it's not cute, and also I'm not gonna deny it, the way we drive here is very aggressive. Even though I had some crazy experiences in New York, especially in the city with the yellow cabs, oh my god. Well, yeah, that's all I can say about transportation. I like it because I have the option to take the Metro Mover, the Metro Rail if I want to go anywhere. Actually, if I want to go to West Palm Beach and I want to have a couple of drinks, I can just take the Bright Line, go and come back super easily, and it is an excellent train. So you have your options. Cultural differences and food. And this is one of the things that I miss the most when living in New York. I love how diverse New York City is. It's incredible. And me living in Queens, it was even better. I rarely interacted with an American, which is strange, living in the United States. So I loved interacting with people from different cultures and learning. And because of that, the restaurants were amazing. I am a foodie and I loved trying new restaurants every single week in New York City, either high-end, either a food truck, which by the way are amazing as well. So you can eat really, really well with any budget in New York City, and that was one of the things that I cry for the most. When I moved to Brickell, there was a halal food, the same halal food in New York. There was a spot down here that they did, it's the same franchise. It was not the same. It was just not the same, and I'm like, oh my god, I want halal food. There was no way I was getting it. However, throughout the years and after COVID and after all this migration from New York, I think people and entrepreneurs were starting to see there was opportunity there, and there are so many restaurants opening every single month here in Miami, and I'm super excited for it. I think they need to improve a little bit more on food for like regular prices, because the most of the new restaurants that are coming here are more like high-end restaurants. So yes, culture and food, to me, there is no place like New York. I'm just gonna say that hands down. Oh, and by the way, one of the things that I miss the most is the Broadway shows, the concerts, theater. You can do so many things every single week in New York. There's always something to do, and I miss that very, very much. And also, while we are in the cultural topic, I do have to say that I believe Miami's main language is Spanish. So if you don't know Spanish, in some instances, it might be a little bit tricky for you. However, I do see that as an opportunity for you to learn a second language. But there has been cases where in some places customer service do not speak English. So that's something that you'll have to get used to. I know it's weird. We are in America. We're supposed to speak English, but I believe Miami is not quite the normal city in America. Outdoor and recreational activities is like mixed feelings too, because yes, of course, over there in the wintertime, you can always go ice skating or skiing and snowboarding around New York State. Yes, you can do that. But other than that, in New York, there is nothing for you to do outdoors. Just get inside and buy food and watch Netflix, because there is nothing else to do other than eat, or at least that was my experience. As opposed to here. Here you can do many things throughout the year. Most of the outdoor activities that you have is obviously related to water, but you have parks, you can go for runs, you have more chance to do outdoor things living in a hot environment, of course. Also, on the entertainment topic, I know Miami is well known for its party scene, but that's not all it is. Again, we're talking about Florida in general, but I personally live in Miami, so I can't speak much about other areas of Florida. There's a lot of party here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna deny that, but it all depends on what you choose to spend your time on. I'm being into wellness, exercise, yoga, so you will find a spot and a place for what you like. That's the beauty of it. Now, I told you guys that I struggle a little bit on the emotional side while living in New York. I was like very not satisfied with my life, not fully happy, even though everything was going well. And I think different factors played into that. One of them is being that it's a tough city. Everybody is in hustling mode, no matter what. Nobody has time to build a community, to make friendships, to actually get together on a casual day, unless you schedule it like 3 months ahead. And that was what I lived. And me being an immigrant in the city, it was even harder for me to make new friendships. It was very, very complicated. I didn't have a sense of community. I didn't have much of a social life because I was in working mode all day long. And talking about work, I was doing real estate over there and I'm doing real estate here. So I can see firsthand the difference into how the business is handled over there, which is very, very rough and complicated. The business itself is complicated, and because the people is in such high stress, everything was like not in a gentle mode, but more like rude, like give me the offer, and I'm like, we don't need to fight, we just need to sell the property. You know what I'm saying? So it was a shift for me, because as soon as I came here, within the first year, I had more friends than I had in New York. So that for me is a huge, huge plus. Work. So like I said, I am on the same field. It was not an easy transition for me, and it was not an easy decision for me, because it's not like I can just switch. Oh, I'm doing real estate here, I'm doing real estate there. No, you have to build your business from scratch when you change cities if you are in real estate. So it was a huge decision for me in that aspect, because it was like building my database all over again. The knowledge, the experience, the work ethic, of course I'm gonna carry that with me wherever I go. But the truth is, it takes a long time to build a business like this one in any city. So it depends for you. If you already are a remote worker, God bless you. Amazing, just move. If you have to relocate and find a new job here, it's a different situation. If you are an entrepreneur that has a local business like mine, it's gonna take a while. You need definitely to have some reserves in your bank account and know that it's just not gonna happen over time. And I can understand it's a bigger decision. Also, if you have kids, it's not like you can just take your bags and go. You have to find a good school. You have to be like a place that's good for you, for your partner, for the kids. So I can understand why it's a big decision and big commitment. But to finalize this speech or this sharing of experience, I will say, if you have been thinking about it, you run your numbers, you put everything on paper, pros and cons, consult with your family. Don't think it too much, because going back to where you are right now, whether it's in New York or any other state, it's always an option. Like, it's not like the world is gonna end. Oh, I came to Florida, I didn't like it, and what do? I have to die here. No, you don't. You can always go back. And I think that was the saying that I always had in my head, well, Steph, if it doesn't work, if you don't like it, you can always go back. So that's what I leave you guys with. Again, if you're thinking of relocating, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you, to guide you. I understand you more than anyone. So don't hesitate, reach out to me. All my information is gonna be down below, my phone number, my email, send me a WhatsApp, because by the way, if you're moving here, you need to have WhatsApp. So keep that in mind. And again, I am Stefania Mogollon, your local real estate agent here in Miami. And by the way, if you're looking to sell in New York City, I can also help you because I still do business there. I love New York, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I will see you on the next one. Bye.